Slipknot created Knotfest. It's a culture. It's bigger than just bands on stage. It's a community.
What better way to make a massive return to the stage in Australia than to bring the proper Knotfest experience here?
Wall of Sound TV, we are hanging out at Knotfest in Brisbane. I'm Browny.
I'm Ebony.
I'm Duane.
And this massive worldwide festival finally hit Australian shores, tore up the East Coast, and metalheads came out in
Droves. We caught up with a bunch of bands.
Got to talk to a few of the people out in the crowd. That was pretty cool.
And a whole stack more. Please enjoy.
My name's Ricky. I'm here from Wall of Sound TV at Knotfest Australia, and I'm here with Alex from Malevolence. How the hell are you going, man?
I'm fantastic, dude. We had a sick show today, and I'm on cloud 9 right now. So yeah, buzzing.
Now, you just performed as the first band at the first Knotfest Australia at the first leg of the festival. It's pretty important stuff.
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't really clock on to like what you just said until like 3 minutes before we went on. I was like, hang on, this is sick. This is monumental. So yeah, very privileged to be here, and the reaction was amazing. So yeah, love it here.
To say we were impressed is a bit of an understatement. The live production is amazing. The performance and the set list is awesome. What was it like putting together that set list for today?
So it's kind of like when we have a 30-minute set, we know that we're kind of constrained in time, so we have to fit as many bangers in as possible. So it's you know what goes down well live, and they're some of our favourite songs to play. So yeah, it just made sense they're like our big festival bangers as well. So it just made sense to throw them songs in there.
I'm going to take it back a notch. All right, so there's this split EP that's coming out. It's got some of our favourite bands on it. Thy Art Is Murder, Fit for an Autopsy, yourselves. We've heard a bit from Fit for an Autopsy with Hellions. Today, Thy Art Is Murder released their original track. Talk to me about this split EP.
So obviously it's like a follow-up to the Depression Sessions, which came out a few years ago, and we toured with Thy Art, I think it was last year over here, and we hit it off really well. We got along really well. They're great guys. I think we're kind of on the same page in just how we are, and so then after we toured with them, yeah, they asked us to be a part of it, and yeah, we just tried to write something a little bit different to what we would normally go for, and even like down to the production, we're trying to like just try new things, and it was a good opportunity to have a bit of fun outside of our normal remit. So yeah, we've got one original song on there, and Anastasia, bro, I've never heard Anastasia with a breakdown, but it works. So yeah, it's sick.
Looking forward to it, mate. Well, look, we'll wrap up there. Just want to say a big thanks to having a chat to us here at Wall of Sound TV at the very first Knotfest Australia. It's such a pleasure having you, and hope you have an awesome tour.
Nice one, brother. Thank you so much for all your support, everyone. Thank you for having us.
So let's keep this chaos going. This one is called Hotel Underground.
I'm Adam Rice from Wall of Sound TV, and I'm here with the one and only Alpha Wolf. How you doing, fellas?
I'm good, my man.
Really good, man. Sick. So we're here at the very first ever Knotfest Australia. I mean, you boys are the local boys on this tour, along with Void Division and North Lane. I mean, how's things been so far?
I mean, today's the first day. Hometown show for us. Literally couldn't have been any better. I'm going to say best Alpha show ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm going to reserve that because I don't know. But definitely the biggest one we've done at home.
Biggest show in our career today.
I mean, yeah. I'm still sort of processing it.
That's crazy because I've seen your guys' tour schedule. It is nuts. Yeah. Crazy. And you've been playing some massive shows ever, like all over the place. So for this hometown show to be one of the biggest is must be pretty special, right?
Yeah.
It means a lot to us, you know. We don't play home as much anymore, just because, you know, overseas is kind of popping right now for us. We kind of go out and do a lot of that stuff. So to come home and play, we never played a festival in Melbourne either.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations is in order. I mean, you guys have done Full Tilt,
We
Cold
did our own
Fest.
festival.
Yeah, Cold Fest. which-
Yeah.
So no one would book us, so we just fucking made
Yeah,
it.
that's
Sick of
sick.
having no festivals, so we put our own one on.
Yeah, that's sick. That's
So
sick.
now we've done 2.
Man, I reckon I'll be sitting right here in 10 years' time speaking to a band who are going so sick to be a cult fest, just like you are about Knotfest.
Wall of Sound get their own tent too. Yeah.
We'll make sure.
You
it
better
happens.
believe it. Cool. Sick. So we're here at Knotfest Australia, as we said. I mean, incredible lineup. Is there any artists that you've been keen to rub shoulders with while you're here?
Yes. We were in a weird spot, like when we're playing, because I fucking love Knock Loose and I love Spiritbox, but we're kind of like in a spot where we don't really get to watch them. So they're the 2 bands for me. Bad Omens, which unfortunately they're not here today, is another one for me. Don't know if you got anyone else.
Obviously the giants that are on the tour, Parkway and Slipknot, would be cool to even like catch a glimpse of them, but we know that's like, we know that that's not a realistic thing to expect. Just the homies, really. Like we were on a flight with Knocked Loose here, and we were just like, we finally get to like gig together.
That's sick.
Other than that, yeah, just the homies and the big dogs, really.
Yeah,
and everybody
absolutely.
you meet in between. Like, it's so funny being here. Like, the camera can't see or tell, but this whole alley is full of portable rooms that are every band's green room, and you look outside our window and it's just trivium, like, and it's like, we're just supposed to pretend like this isn't a big deal. Like, literally bands we were listening to in high school, we're just like surrounded by. Like, anybody you meet is someone special here, like. And the chances are you definitely know who they are.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
absolutely. So, Melbourne being Melbourne, it's a bit cold today, and a few of our Wall of Sound team have gone down to purchase merch, right?
Yeah.
To get cold.
Yeah.
Now, and that took me back to a moment in time where I was scrolling on Instagram and I came across a video of you, Lockie, ripping a venue to shreds as to the merch costs, so the merch carts, right?
Yeah.
And that's really cool of you to do that, but it also had such a large, follow-on effect. It's created like a massive worldwide conversation around the ethical practice of merch carts. And like, I wanted to ask you, is the conversation doing enough?
To be fair, it was really annoying and sort of embarrassing because when that went up, like, I was just trying to like. Sabian and I were talking about like Instagram algorithms and like what posts pop off and not, and I was just like, clip this bit from our show the other night and I'll post it as a video and see how it does. In my mind, I didn't expect it to blow up like it did because I bitch on stage all the time, like, and then it just blew the fuck up and everybody's like in our DMs and everything saying like, fuck yeah, you guys are the man, like, you guys are sick, and now other people are starting petitions, and I wish I was like, had something ready to go when I made that speech, but at the same time, I'm like, someone needed to say it, and I will happily do that. Like, I fly off the handle at anything, so like, I'll deal with that later. Like,
we were just angry about it, you know? It's just bullshit. Like,
it happens everywhere, but this particular venue was like, dude there was being a dick, like, fuck that guy, and he was asking for it, so I gave it to him.
Fun fact, he tried to shut the show down, but he couldn't get to the sound desk because we were playing Akudama, and of course you can't get to the sound desk when that's happening.
When I said that, apparently he tried to like dash to the sound desk to like put the off button or something
what?
like
What are you
that.
gonna do?
But the fact that everybody's gotten behind it and some like bigger bands have approached me and said, hey man, like, we really appreciate you doing that because we're tied up in all these other bigger things. We'll get in trouble if we say it. And it's just like, no, I probably thought I was going to get in trouble when you say it, but like, that's why you do it. Like, they want you to think you're going to get in trouble for saying that sort of thing. Yes. Like,
but then, people back you for saying it, and like, it starts a conversation, and then it's like, oh, like, this is a thing. And it's like, yeah, you don't, people aren't,
I think, like, so many people didn't even realize it was a thing.
Exactly,
people don't know the merch.
Myself included.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, it's not that big of a thing in Australia. Like, you get to the bigger venues and it starts coming in, but like dive bars in America are asking for 20% of your merch, and it's just like, bro, there isn't a door on the toilet, and you want 20% of merch, bro? Like, no, like, yeah.
Is there anything you think that needs to be done in order to affect change in this?
Strike it, just get rid of it. Like, from what we've like been told, it's like, it's just sort of an archaic thing that used to serve a purpose and used to actually like matter, and venues have just sort of kept it, being like, no, we still need this or whatever. Like, even though no one's getting 20% of the bar, they're getting everything. They're just like, no, this band that's rolling in that is living on below minimum wage, like, they print these shirts off their own dollar. We're going to take 20% of that just cause, like. And some cops will be, like, in our comments saying, like, well, like, the bar or the venue makes more money on a night that isn't having a band, so they put this in the contract to offset those costs. And it's just like, that's the bar's problem. Like, that is not our problem. And, sorry, I'm ranting now. It's a contractual thing, so, like, yes, it's in the contracts, and we sign up for it, and we say, yes, this is fine, blah, blah, blah. Because if we don't, they're just going to lower the guarantee anyway. And it's just like, I think we might just start doing that, because you make that much more in merch anyway than the guarantee. Like,
in my opinion, you just gotta regulate it. Like, it's so unrealistic for bands our size, and we're not a big band.
That's arguable.
Arguable, but like the size we are is like, merchandise sales is really important to a band our size. It's literally how we stay afloat. And venues know that, and that's why the merch cut's there, because they know, that's how bands make a living, and they want a part of that living. And it's like, well, that's not realistic for us at all. So it's like, it's just got to get regulated in a way where it's like, I understand that they need a part of that, but like, let's make it work for everyone.
Good to catch up. Good to catch up with you boys. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to catching you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, it's Mike from Spiritbox, and you're watching Wall of Sound TV.
Alright, hi guys, we're here at Knotfest with Mike Stringer from Spiritbox.
Hey.
I'm very excited to be chatting to you. I've got all my notes.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
so ready.
Stoked to be chatting to you too.
Yes, well, your debut Australian show was incredible. Did you expect it to go that well, or did you expect that sort of like audience and how well it went?
No, not at all. It's funny. I didn't even know like what the venue was like until the night before, and like one of our crew sent us a photo, being like, "Oh yeah, here's the venue tomorrow," and I was like, "There's no way. Are you serious?" And then we get there, and yeah, it was pretty incredible. It was amazing.
So essentially, you started off very, very strong. Brought Knotfest to Australia for the first time, part of the lineup. Does that mean something special? Like, Knotfest is huge, Slipknot is huge. How do you feel
my God.
about
I mean, I just think about when I was like 9 years old, ripping Diablo online and listening to Iowa, and now I think about being here, and it's insane. Like, Slipknot has played such a huge role, and we're just so thankful that they had us out. I mean, it doesn't feel real, to be honest with you. It's crazy.
And it's the last one, so,
right?
live it up.
It's wild.
Well, I'm excited because you're playing your album Eternal Blue for the first time to Australian fans. I'm really keen to hear Sunkiller. Have you had like a favorite that you're like, oh, I love playing this song?
Yeah, you know what? We've been playing Silk on the Strings a lot. And it's usually not in the set. It's usually in the headliner set. But we wanted to bust it out for this one. It's been a lot of fun to play live.
Definitely.
A lot of fun.
I can't believe it's been out for like a year and a half. It honestly feels like
Tell me about
just
it.
last year.
I know, it's crazy. Time's just flying. But yeah, it I don't know. The whole response has just been such a whirlwind, and having people know the words and stuff has been something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, like, now that you've played so many shows with all these songs, that you sort of have a little experiment and add like a little section here, or you just have more fun with them now?
We're starting to have fun now.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun for a long time. It was a lot of like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like trying to figure it out. But yeah, we're getting comfortable now, which is a nice feeling. It's like, I still stress out a lot before we go on, and especially when we're playing crowds like when we're playing to crowds like this, like I can't help it but be kind of like mom spaghetti a little bit and just like want to vomit. But it's good once we get into the flow of it, into the set. I kind of forget about most things, and then it's over. So as long as there's not a gear mishap or something, we're good to go. But yeah, it's nice to have fun with it now and to be a little bit more casual, as before it was like the end of the world if like something would happen, when it's really not. Like it just is what it is.
You're just rock stars now. Everyone's got it set up for you. You just walk on stage.
D-list celebrities, yeah, total rock stars.
No, but like that's what it seems like. You release a killer album, like you've played so many awesome shows and like been on tours and festivals and stuff. Like, what is your day-to-day like now?
Just thinking about the band, doing band stuff. I have no hobbies. This is the only thing that I do. I really do need hobbies, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, like, me and Courtney, we started doing this a long time ago. I met her in 2008, We played a local show together. She was in her band, I was in my band, and then so it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy now that we get to kind of do this as our job
full time.
Full time, and it is. So like day to day, it's very much just like the band.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to mention something about songwriting. And
Well-
I was going to be like, how do you have the time?
Yeah, songwriting too. I mean, honestly, I feel like practicing for me now is just writing songs.
Oh, okay.
Which is a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
great. So, I'm very, very thankful that we get to do this. It's cool.
Do you ever write anything and it's like, yeah, that's LP2, or it still needs to be fleshed out or anything?
Sometimes I'll write something and I'm like, that'll be for later on down the road. Last fall, I think I wrote about like 16, 17 songs.
Oh, jeez.
Just had like a whole bank of them. And then, kind of was just like, well, where can these go, So we have some new stuff in the works I'm really excited about. And, I mean, pretty well, like right away, if something is like,
Okay.
we should hold on to this and work on it, or
Yeah.
if it's just like, that's going to be, on a hard drive forever. You're never going to see it.
Really, years down the track, just be like, here's a B-side, B-roll.
Sure, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Keep that in mind.
I'm sure I have like Untitled Folder 4 that has a bunch of MP3s in it. That I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about those.
One day.
One day, yeah.
Well, I guess for all the aspiring guitarists or people in bands and stuff, and they, play Spiritbox material, what would you say your signature is? Like, what would they be trying to copy from you?
I don't know, because I just copy everything from my heroes, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think everything just comes full circle. Maybe people would be trying to, approach bending a little differently when they hear our stuff. We have a lot of, like, kind of weird ways of doing that, but I don't know, I try not to, I just think about just writing songs and just writing parts and being like, that's cool, and then, if it works, it works, if it doesn't, it doesn't, but I'm always so appreciative and just so blown away whenever I get like tagged in videos of kids playing the riffs, and they're playing them really well, and it's really, really cool. It's really inspiring, and just wild to think that people care enough to learn it, It's awesome.
There was that little girl who covered one of your tracks as well, and she was like super young.
Harper.
Yeah,
she's
that
crushing
was incredible.
it. Yeah, she is an incredible vocalist, and she actually came up with us last summer when we were in London. She did Holy Roller with us. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it brought the house down. It was amazing. It was so cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you still have like a lot of 2023 left. Like, we're literally in March.
Yeah.
What do you have planned? What else is going on?
Touring. Yeah, more tours. So like in 2 weeks-ish, we're going to start our first headlining tour in North America.
Nice.
Maybe some new music will come out.
Ooh.
Neither confirm or deny.
What a great year.
Yeah, so it should be cool. And then we're going to hit up Europe, and then we're looking at fall right now too, so it's just kind of go. But other than that, not much.
Nice. You know what? I'll just keep like maybe the end half of this year, maybe like next year. I'll just keep it all open for you guys to come back.
Yeah.
I'll just always be free, and then when you guys come back, I'll be like,
don't plan anything and don't go to work, and then we'll just show up at some point.
I'll just wait. You just see me sitting at home.
Exactly. Yeah. In a dark room, just.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, this is the lineup to get a photo with Browny. G'day, it's Duane here from Wallace Sound. I'm with these three legends. What's your name? Jono. Gary. Kieran. Hell yeah! I'm here with this bloke. And he loves being here. Grant.
How you going, brother?
I'm great, mate. So, who are you dressed by today?
Myself.
Alex, this is the greatest shirt in all of Knotfest. Look at that.
It looks pretty good, eh?
Which hippie store did you steal that from?
Pretty sure I stole it from my mum's closet. So.
Yeah, actually, my mum's got one just like it. Who are you here to see?
I don't know.
Slipknot, Parkway Drive, Northland, Spiritbox, AfterFilm.
Mostly Knock Loose, and then definitely Slipknot, Parkway Drive.
Slipknot! Taylor Swift! Slipknot! Bad Omens as well. Yeah. But who are you mostly here to see? Fun. I like your tattoos. Do you have any band tattoos?
I do. I wrote it every time I die tattoo on the... Every time I die
What?
tattoo there, brother.
That's not a bad looking tattoo. It's pink. It goes with his shirt. That's beautiful, mate. Can you give us your best? Blah! Blah! You look like one of them wrestlers that's been walking around.
Yeah, Mankind. Yeah, isn't that a band? Mankind.
He's the best, man.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah, I don't know about Dude Love though, but Mankind.
Cactus Jack too.
If you were a wrestler, what would your walk-on music be?
Slipknot.
Which song?
Oh, that's a toss-up.
People equal shit!
Dead Ringer by Knock Loose in that breakdown.
Barbie Girl. I always thought Spit It Out would be a good one to start with.
That's like top 5.
Love you, Cloudy. Thanks, man. No, this guy's great help, eh?
Probably gotta go with Coin Has a Say by Every Time I Die.
Mad. Excellent song.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. Mine's going to be Why Can't We Be Friends? You know, why can't we?
Purity. Prosthetics.
That's a great one.
Prosthetics even. I don't know.
Before I Forget.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, mate, it's great meeting ya. Have a great festival. Whoever it is you're going to see.
More Sound TV! Fuck yeah! Turn it up!
Howdy, it's James Lomenzo from the mighty Megadeth, and you're watching Wall of Sound TV.
G'day, here it's Duane from Wall of Sound, and today I'm with an absolute legend. I'm sitting here with James from Megadeth.
Thank you,
mate. I'm chuffed to meet you. Welcome back to Australia.
Thank you. I love Australia. I've already been here twice with Megadeth, and let me see, one more time on a clinic run, I believe. And actually, we're in Brisbane today.
Yes,
I love Brisbane.
Look, this is the first time you guys have been here in 8 years. And there's 2 albums in between, and it's also the first time that Australia will see this iteration of Megadeth. So how has it been the last 8 years that we haven't seen you?
Well, it's been longer than that for me.
Oh yeah, well you were here.
Yeah, as time and happenstance would happen.
Of course,
I've changed.
You've changed.
So I used to be here back in it must have been 27, 28. I'll bet, right? That was actually it. So it's a little further back. They said there wouldn't be math in this interview, so I'll let you figure that out. But but anyway, no. So this between then, the new band was mind-boggling to me when I showed up, because last I left off it was Chris Broderick, who's actually playing with In Flames tonight.
Yeah, right? I've seen him walking around.
Fantastic guitar player, and a lovely fella, and Sean Drover.
Yes.
And so this iteration just blew my socks off. You know, I didn't know what to think when I was coming back. You know, I knew Dave would be there. I knew it would sound like Megadeth, because as long as Dave is singing and playing guitar, it is Megadeth.
Yes.
But the new guys, like I knew they were good. But when I got in the room, and Dirk just started slamming his drums, I was just blown away. And then when I got to play with Kiko, who's massively deep musically.
Yeah.
I mean, we spend a lot of time in our little rehearsal space. We always set up like a little rehearsal room at all the gigs we play. Him and I will just go and jam, and he'll start showing me Brazilian rhythms that we can move over, and we'll play classical motifs and blues. I mean, anything. You know, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, you guys were recently in Japan, in Tokyo, and
yes.
And you saw Marty Friedman, who, like, growing up for me, he was the guitarist for Megadeth, you know, and I heard what he said about Kiko. And he had nothing but the highest amount of praise and respect for Kiko.
Yes.
Is there anything that you think Dave looks for in a member? Like, is it just musicality, or is it?
Oh, it's so much more than that. It's intuition. It's a firm understanding of what Megadeth is. Like, all these guys are fans of the band, as am I. You know, because there is, as you mentioned about Marty, there's a long history behind this band.
Absolutely.
And there's over 200 songs and counting. You know, every day. You know, so it's a lot to digest. But anybody who's in this band needs to really have a reverence and a knowledge of the musical style, you know, the motif that Dave plays it. And, you know, nobody's going to sound 100% like Marty, or I won't sound 100% like David Ellison, you know. Electrically, we're not built that way.
Yes.
But we can certainly get as close as we can do, and that lends to a more interesting thing, because I think in the case of this band, we all seem to, like, hit the notes harder, you know, the attacks harder. And we're playing it just as close to the record as we can, but we play differently. So it seems to be a little bit more of I always say it's like a bulldozer or a tank. You know, it's like Megadeth coming at you with all the teeth out. You know,
walking around out there, I've seen parents like fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, mothers and daughters, whatever it is, you know. And I've seen guys standing next to their son, and they've got a Megadeth tattoo on their calf that's older than their kid. And that's got to blow you out. Like, even being part of something, just because you weren't there from the start, it's a band that's been going for 40 years.
Yes.
Is there that sort of, when you watch how massive heavy metal is at the moment and how diverse it is, do you guys stand around and go, have that proud father moment? Because a lot of these guys, I'd say all these bands in some way or another owe a lot of what they do to Megadeth.
Megadeth being part of the actual Big Four, Dave being part of the Big One. You know, before it all comes together.
Absolutely.
You know, so that yes, this is the well that the spring is. You know, the water is sent out to the audience from this place. You know, so Dave takes it dead serious. I can speak for him on that.
Yep.
We all take it dead serious. We have a charge and a responsibility. You know, because this is the original thrash metal band.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you take that into account, yes, and we find a lot of the people we tour with are almost embarrassingly reverent. They should be, but they're all great. You know what I'm saying? You can't take anything away from anybody.
Yeah.
That was what you were saying about parents and taking their kids and stuff like that. When I was in Black Label Society,
yes,
we were doing a tour in the States in San Bernardino, and Slipknot were playing on that. And my daughter couldn't wait to see Slipknot. See the Generous. So I brought her up there, and she was pretty small at the time. I think she was 11 or something like that. And I was like, okay, but we have to be ready to run, okay? Because we're both too small to take on the whole crowd behind us.
Yeah.
And she loved it. It was great, and I loved it too.
Megadeth used to do their own festival in Gigantor.
Gigantor, sure.
You did Mega Cruise before COVID. When will Megadeth be back as headliners? And will it be in either of those capacities, maybe a Mega Cruise through Sydney Harbour?
We're looking into all of that, and Sydney Harbour would be fantastic.
Unreal.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I hadn't thought about it. But yeah, no, our whole trajectory is to get out and do it. Here's what happened. Okay, let's take the reality of the gravity of the situation, right?
Yeah.
So we've had a pandemic, people got locked up, a lot of shows came off the table.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago when I came back, it's almost 2 years now, that giant elastic band that's been holding everybody back from going to concerts and stuff snapped. Everybody went out all at one time, which, because a lot of bands had canceled their tours and stuff, right? So, Megadeth's been in this place where we kind of hit all the high lines for what was available at that time.
Yep.
So now it's time we can't keep going back to the same place every 3 weeks, you know? Unless it's Harry's Bar and Grill, which is a very sweet place to play. But for the future, that's everything we're talking. We're putting that on the table because this year we've avoided some of the places that we've already played. We don't want to oversaturate. We don't want to bore people to death. We want to come back to something new.
Yeah.
Bigger, better show, the whole thing. So we're planning to go forward. I don't have the what, the where, and the how just yet, but it'll be coming soon.
Man, whatever capacity you come back in, I work in a tattoo studio that's also a record store. If you guys want to set up just in the corner, or we'll just clear the whole place out, and you can play in the tattoo studio. That'd be sweet.
A rattlehead tattoo for a song.
You have no idea how many of those I've done.
Well, tell me. What do you think?
Oh, it's at least a dozen.
That's great.
There's one guy who's got 3 different rattleheads on him. One on his arm, one on his leg, and I had to talk him out of getting it on his ass.
Well, I'm glad you did. It's somewhat demeaning.
I believe it's on his chest.
Good.
So he's just mad for it. So you probably would have seen him jumping
What was his
around.
name? Give him a throw.
I think his name's Doug.
Doug
with 3.
Doug, I'm glad you didn't put it on your ass because people are going to want to see it, and that'll be up to you then.
Man, a genuine honour to meet you.
You too.
And I'm so glad you guys are here, and I can't wait to see you destroy out there tonight.
No, we'll do it, man.
Thank you so much.
If anybody can, it will be us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
James, thank you so much.
Hey, what's up? It's Dan from Story of the Year.
Chris Broderick from In Flames.
This is Jolly, Bad Omens.
Jack Berg from Void of Vision.
Paolo from Trivium, and you're watching
Wall of Sound.
Wall of Sound TV.
How does it feel to be on the inaugural Knotfest for Australia?
Well, actually, you're the first one telling me that, so I think that's awesome. You know, it's going to be a first for both of us. I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, it feels great. Yeah, we were able to play yesterday, so that was a lot of fun, and it was a difference because I feel like we hadn't played a fest in a while, and I've been used to the 1,000, 2,000 cap rooms, and then you look out and well, that's not 2,000, that's a lot more.
It's a great bill. There's so many good bands on it, and like, this is maybe one of the biggest festivals I've seen here since we've been coming down.
And to come and do a massive metal festival like this, when you're the post-hardcore band with the whiny vocals but the screams on there, do you feel a little bit out of place?
What do you mean? We're the heaviest band here.
Are there any artists here that you've been, kind of keen to rub shoulders with?
You hanging out with any of the bands while you're here?
Well, just got here, so we'll see what happens. Have hung out for a minute with the Monomarth.
Myself and George, the drummer in our band, like when we first started jamming and going to practice rooms when we were kids, we would always bust out Trivium songs. Wow. And I think just like, yeah, Trivium is the one.
Trivium as well. We saw them as well yesterday for a minute.
The bill itself, the Knotfest kind of brand, I guess you could say, just not having shows here probably for 3 years, it feels like there's like just extra energy.
When you come to Australia, you do the amazing things of doing the backflips off the amps, throwing the guitars across the stages and all that. Is it getting harder as you get older, or can you still pull that out?
It's harder for sure, but we still put as much energy into it. We still have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's not as much crazy physical stunts anymore.
Yeah.
But we're still idiots on stage, and we run around and have a great time.
It sounds different to me, because I'm an in-ear system and all. Standing on a very open space like a stage like that, and I was like, oh shit, everything's different, and because you didn't really get the sound check and everything. But it's a huge, cool thing, just going up there and just boom, just soak it in immediately. It was really cool.
This is the first time I've seen a festival like this where it's just 2 stages. Usually there's
much
two
better,
here, two
in my
there.
opinion. I like when it's just 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Just easy for the crowd.
And these festivals are always great for you to find all your friends from around the world and just have a beer together and just hang out. It seems like a whole lot of fun for you guys.
It is. It's really interesting because you'll do a tour with a band and then you kind of part ways and it seems a little bittersweet for a moment. But then the festival season hits and you're like, hey, what's happening? How have you been? And then you'll do your next tour together or whatever. So it's constantly intertwining, and it's a fun community to be a part of.
We chameleon our way through many different styles. We have heavy shit.
Yeah,
can I
you
say
do.
shit?
Yeah,
can I
you
say
can
shit?
say shit, and you can say fuck.
Oh, cool. We have heavy fucking shit on our records, and soft stuff, poppy stuff. We're just kind of all over the place. So
we come from metalcore roots, I'd say. But if someone asks me, what kind of music do you play? I don't say metalcore. I don't actually never use that word anymore.
Oh, really?
No, I'll say we have our toe.
Yeah.
In left in metalcore, but I just say that we're in a modern rock band.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what it is.
Probably a bit broader. You can do anything you want, essentially.
Yeah, I don't tend to too much the genre police. I like to just be able to create whatever it is, and if it's good music, it's on the album.
As someone who's come to In Flames quite recently, what are some of the albums in Flames' back catalogue that really kind of are some of your favorites?
Definitely Clayman. I think maybe I heard Horacle first, but Clayman is the one that I was just really started following them, and Reroute to Remain is phenomenal. I mean, you could name so many of them, and but those are the ones that actually got me into In Flames back in the day.
What's your go-to Trivium song?
We're a big fan of In Waves, and just the whole record is fucking fantastic. So.
And then you get on stage and then people are screaming until the day I die back at you. Does that ever get old?
It's no, that never gets old.
Yeah,
we are very lucky to have that early success, and that record is just so iconic still in the scene, in our scene, and we're very lucky to have that, and it's amazing. You can never be mad when thousands of people are screaming your song at you.
Exactly.
Oh, I like our songs.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's we don't put anything out that we don't like, and so I've always been I'm really attached to all of our songs, and but I think we have a good set. I think we picked the ones that are playing really well live and whatnot.
Honestly, the fact that we just get to represent Australia on such a world-renowned cultural name. With Friends in Alpha were from Northland, and then obviously Titans Parkway. It's insane. I'm very, very grateful to have been picked as the representation for our country of heavy music in front of this umbrella. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is our 14th time here.
14th time.
Yep. I was counting it up before we came, and I couldn't believe it myself when I was looking. And I think, as far as I'm aware, we may be, if not one of the most times here of any band, or besides Australian bands, of course. But maybe Megadeth, but I'm not sure. We may have even tied or topped them.
Well, I'm excited to hopefully see you guys back in Australia one day. I'll look forward to the day.
Yes, me too.
Have a little celebration.
Yeah, no, we gotta get back here and do it right for sure.
I know that this tour was like kind of in preparation so we could come back next year.
Yeah.
And that's the plan right now. We don't have anything booked yet, but we will be coming back very soon, and we'll hit it probably with the 20-year anniversary, and still celebrating this album as well. But
we've made it a point to keep coming back, and I think hopefully we got a lot more trips left in us down here.
Well, I hope so.
We're only like a quarter of the way through 2023. Are you manifesting anything for the rest of the year? Do you have any other plans that you'd like to achieve or see happen?
Well, I guess I can't say too much. I know how my year's going to look like, but not everybody else does because it's not been announced yet. It's just going to be a lot of busy. We're going to be busy.
I know it sounds like bullshit, but this is literally one of our favorite places to tour. It always has been, and we always really love it, and we're not kidding when we say that. So we're excited to be back, and we'll do it for another 20 years. Hopefully.
Well, we'll gladly have you there and whatever it takes, even if it involves sleeping on my couch.
I'm fine, yeah. Once the fans stop coming, I'm going to be hitting you up like, look,
Exactly.
dude, the only way we can get there is if we stay at your house, dude, please.
House party!
The our only critique is that we just want to play longer, and we want to do a headliner next time we come. We're pretty adamant that the next time we come here, we have to do a headliner. It can't be a festival, so that's our hope.
I want to thank all of the fans that are coming to the shows, coming back out, and making metal, a dual participatory kind of thing, and fucking rocking out with us, right?
Wall of Sound TV, we're hanging out at Knotfest Australia. Andy Marsh from Thy Art Is Murder's here. G'day.
How you going, guys?
Wait, are you even playing today?
No.
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Winston from Parkway Drive, and you are watching Wall of Sound TV.
Welcome back to Winnow.
G'day, mate. How you going?
I'm pretty bloody good. How are you?
I'm fucking great.
I think the first thing that we need to talk about is obviously the video from the very first show, panning back over the crowd, like insanity.
Yeah.
It's mental. For a moment there, I didn't know if we were at Wacken or at Knotfest in Australia.
Some vibes, eh?
How's that for you?
It's pretty nuts, dude.
Yep.
That first Melbourne show, I don't get floored that often on stage these days, and I was the least composed I've ever been as far as I can remember on stage, from the sheer reaction, the sheer vibe of the entire thing. I knew how to play and I knew the show, but other than that, I was just like, I kind of don't even know how to carry myself. This is just so nuts.
This is happening in Australia. This is like,
dude,
because we've obviously seen Viva the Underdogs, the story of going over to play Wacken, to have this experience in your own backyard.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
After 20 years after playing your very first show, is it surreal?
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. Like, I'm not gonna fucking bullshit when I say I couldn't have imagined it getting to this point.
Yeah.
Because it's just nuts. Like, it kind of defies it. There's so many things about this that defy expectation of anything. Like, right down to the fact of, like, where the hell are all these people coming from?
Yeah.
Because it's not like, this isn't a festival where there's, like, story of the year. And it's not even, is it story of the year? Yeah.
Story of the year,
It's story of the year, the softest thing going.
Yeah.
The softest, most accessible thing. I'm like, everything else is, like, it's all hard, aggressive music. And yet, the whole thing is sold out, and it's mental. I'm like, that shows where this scene is actually at.
Exactly.
That shows the support behind it, and it's really, really cool, dude.
Well,
it's
funny,
really cool.
It's funny you mentioned where the scene's at now, because Jacko, who's working, work experience behind the camera here, we used to go way back, driving around on the Pimp, in his car, the Pimp Tara on the Gold Coast, playing Killing for the Smile on a burnt CD.
Cognay.
Seeing you at the Southport RSL,
Yes,
Sounds of Spring here in Brisbane as well too. And so from there to where Parkway is now, it's just mind-blowing that it keeps happening. But then all of these fans keep coming out to support this amazing scene and everything it does for mental health and obviously heavy music.
Yeah, man. It's really nice. It's nice that it continues to connect. Like, I'm stoked in, like, obviously how well the scene is going and how the festival is going. But I guess the really humbling thing is watching it continue growth for the band as well. Like it's strange when you're in the vehicle that's on the journey at that, like it's a very different thing from the way everyone else experiences our growth or anything like that.
Yeah.
And your perspective is obviously going to be very, very personal, and it really like to watch the reaction and the energy. Like it's one thing to like go, okay, we're trying to win some people over.
Yeah.
It's another thing to just go, holy shit, everyone's behind me. Everyone has our back.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, I didn't see anyone not jumping. I didn't hear a voice not singing. Like it was really just like,
we had staff all the way
hell.
like at the back of the second
Yeah,
flags,
dude.
and like the crowd was still going behind them.
It was nuts,
it was
man.
insanity.
Like bottom feeder last night, I literally had to stick my head around the stage all the way over to the other side of like Slipknot's pit, and they were just like,
Everyone's
yeah, we're fucking in.
too, yeah.
It was the whole thing.
Well, it's talking about your history and where you've come from. I remember playing the big day out on the Converse stage all those years ago, and like it just grew. Like
Wait up, the Goldie one?
The Goldie
one, yeah. That was like
that's
the biggest gig we'd ever played at the time. Whoa.
Jacko will tell you a story about that in a second. But like from there, like it just keeps growing. Every time you hit the stage, more people turn out. The Byron Bay hardcore scene, was what it was, and now Parkway Drive is just That's the only way to explain it.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
And so to be part of this inaugural festival, to have Slipknot handpick you and say, we want you on this, there was no brainer, obviously, right?
Oh, no brainer. No,
Yep.
it's nuts. It's rad. Like I mean, that's another part of it. That's just another part of it. To be able to hold your own, like, and be the headliner on the other stage is, it's rad. Like it's rad that not only are we given the opportunity to do it, but like, we deserve the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like straight up, that's the thing. It's been very interesting. Like, I think Viva the Underdogs may have been a little bit of a shock to a lot of people because like we didn't realize that we haven't toured that much here in like the last 5 years. Until we were getting ready for this, I was like, hang on. The perception of what this band is basically like our Reverence album launch tour and 2 Good Things shows and like Night and Day Fest, and that's all we've played.
Yep.
And in the meantime, the growth of this band and like what we do as musicians and everything has just like, it's expanded so much. So to come back and just go, this is just who we are. And it be, I'm stoked that it seems to be less of a reality slap. Now people have seen the work that's been going in to our craft.
Everything going behind
and now,
the scenes.
That's it. And now you see it on stage and they're like, oh, I get why they're in that spot.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking get it because it's not like there's a reason. Like it's the same thing everywhere around the world. And Australia's now like, we got one of these bands, man. That's the thing. We've got someone on a tier that no other Australian band has been at in the history of heavy music.
And it's such a good thing because the boomers, as we like to call them, had AC/DC back in the day. The Gen X's, the Gen Ys, the Millennials have Parkway Drive, and it's such a really cool full circle thing.
Yeah.
And then it gets us thinking, what are the Zoomers going to have?
North Lane at the moment, man.
North Lane at the moment, Polaris, Void of Vision, all of these, Make Them Suffer, all these great bands.
That's the thing, you watch the festival and you watch the Australian bands murdering it.
Yeah.
Like, killing it.
So many eyes are on us. It's 100%.
Nuts. It's really good. And it's like that overseas. Like I've been saying it for many years, but there's a reputation for quality overseas for what we export musically. And it's really rad to see it like continue to grow at home. Because sometimes I think it's very easy to take for granted, like this, it's such a big place, and as big as this show actually is, like, it's still a huge country.
Exactly.
And this is still quite underground compared to everywhere else that you play as a major market in the world. So to be able to see the Australian bands and the quality be recognised and continue to grow, and you look at like the North Lanes and Polarises now, and you look at just their side shows or their headlining runs, and you're like, hey man, that rivals anyone from anywhere in the world right now. And they're doing that around the world. That's really, really, really cool.
Which is interesting to say as well, because we're seeing yourself, Polaris, Stand Atlantic, forgive me for the other bands that are missing out, the UK festival circuit, so Download Festival, Grass Pop, Hellfest, and that in itself is like that next level to go from where you would normally be an opener for a festival like that to now playing with the big boys 100%. And girls.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it changes your craft. Obviously, like in terms of just like, it's a really big proving ground. Like, just for perspective, like Knotfest is 3 dates here. Whereas you do a Europe one and you're playing like 3 festivals like back to back to back, and then you have 2 days off and you're playing another 3, and then 2 days off and another 3. And if you want to keep doing that, you got to get good. You got to get really good, and there's no like, it's not just like a little thing and then you can forget about it. Like you really learn what works for you, what you want to do. Yeah, like it's literally trial by fire, but it's you don't get to hop out of the frying pan.
Would you recommend bands hit the road like you guys did back in the day and tour extensively, sleeping on the beach and doing stuff like that to make it?
To make it, I would always recommend being your own master.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
And your words of wisdom are amazing with everything. It's not just bands. It's running your own business. It's running your own life.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Like, and it becomes harder. Like, if you do really want to make it as a band, like, learn as much as you can and don't be lazy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it, because look, everything that you decide that you don't want to learn, you're going to have to pay someone else to do, and that's going to be harder for you to be able to survive.
Exactly.
And that sometimes you have to do shit, and like, this is coming from someone who, we obviously do it as DIY as we can, but we've got like 50 people on our crew minimum.
Can you imagine a band of your stature now, if you didn't do that? How many people would you have to run your operation?
Oh, dude, it's insane. Like, it is like, we are an anomaly in the entire music industry.
Yeah.
And we have everyone from the top of the game to the bottom just going, how the hell do you guys even do it? And it even comes down to our crew. Like, it's nuts. Like, it's... That the last run we did in Europe was like, it's 3 buses and 5 semi-trailers.
Right.
Building it, like, you rock into an arena and you're building that thing from this concrete floor with nothing on it.
Oh, yeah, because you do that all yourself. Yeah,
it's all the whole stage is bought in, every nut and bolt. And I'll walk in the morning and watch the stage getting built, and then as it's all going together, I work out the sight lines for the visuals and everything.
Yeah.
And we always get to know the crew, but they're like, no bands do this. You just rock up on stage, and we're like, that's not how we do it. We make sure it runs properly, and that's our vision.
And you cover everything to make sure the lights are all working.
That's
the
it,
flames
100%.
Are you a control freak?
Oh, 100%.
Yep, cool.
But that's what it is. Like, we're control freaks and perfectionists.
Yeah.
But it's because we love it. Like, it's that thing where you have something in your head, and then you want to make it come to life.
Yeah.
It's not just. I'm not picking things apart for being wrong.
Yep.
It's just, you have these opportunities and you want to make the most of them. So I trust everyone on our crew with my life.
Yep,
that's
perfect.
The thing.
That's
I
what you need.
literally do.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, I'm just gonna make sure that down to the millimeter, the vision matches the reality.
What you need to do. And look, it's beautiful to watch. So keep it up. Do not stop. Winston McCall from Parkway Drive. We cannot wait to see you out there. It's always good. You like the furniture. We get you in anytime. Come around anytime you want. Thank you for hanging out with Wall of Sound.
Cheers, guys.
I've never done this before in our 20 years. I just want to say how much of a legend this guy is, Winston. And for 20 years he's been a band, he has gone 110% every night, and he's pretty much blown his voice out once or twice ever. And tonight he pushed through. He's a fucking man, he's the best frontman to go.
Wall of Sound TV, we're at Knotfest Australia, and normally we like to catch up with the punters and the bands, but we've got 3 very special guests here who are the brains, the masterminds behind this event coming to Australia. I'm horrible with names, so we'll get them to introduce themselves. Chris O'Brien, obviously.
Corey Brennan.
Tim McGregor.
All right, so for having Knotfest come to Australia, this is something that's been in the works for how long, would you say?
I mean, at least 7 or 8 years that I've had conversations about it, but it wasn't until probably 3 years ago, right before COVID, that I talked to Tim and talked to Chris, and it became a reality.
Yeah.
COVID held it back a couple years, but you know, we all strategized and talked for a long time on how to find the right time and the right space, and when we thought bands would be available.
Yep.
And it worked out on the dates that we're looking at now, and it feels great.
30,000 people through the gates, a completely sold out tour. Was this in your mind that this would actually happen, or were you like, oh, maybe it might, maybe not?
No, I mean, to be honest, we're absolutely delighted, but we thought we may need to build it for a few years, you know, and start a little bit more conservatively and see it, but it just popped completely, and the programming's been brilliant, the timing's been brilliant. I think there's a real sense too, people coming out of COVID, having those collective shared festival experiences.
Yeah.
They're back, and it's just fantastic to see the way that it's just exploded.
It's the amazing camaraderie of the heavy music scene, not just here in Australia, but the fans that have flown from New Zealand, from Japan, all the way over to be part of this kind of thing. And, growing up working in commercial radio, this heavy music was something that I would always try and push on our music directors. There is a massive scene here, there's a massive following, but they still consider it niche. Did you overcome any obstacles with trying to get this out to the public, or was the heavy music scene just really receptive and jumped on board?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, we've been doing this for quite a while now, as you know, and we were really confident that the market response would be super solid. As Tim said, there probably wasn't an expectation that it would fly out as quickly as it did, but I think they were going back to conversations I had with Corey back in LA years ago, which was more about timing, and not rushing the brand into the market. We'll make decisions as a team as when we think it's ready and when we think the market's ready for it, because that's really important. I mean, history's shown us that other brands have come into the market at the wrong times and just expected to do well. It just doesn't work that way. There's just it's a lot more thought process that goes into it, and the hardest thing for us to be is patient, to be honest, because you sort of want to get on with it as quickly as you can. But I think this has probably proven that the patience has worked for us.
And like you're saying, you've been working on this for 7 years. You can't exactly come out of the woodworks and go, here's a festival, everyone come to it kind of thing. You've got to bleed it in and obviously suss out the market and if people want to actually be a part of this kind of festival.
100%. But, when you've got Slipknot, one of the greatest metal bands of all time.
Of all time,
let's call a spade a spade. It makes your job a little bit easier.
And something that it's a big place in their heart for Australia.
Yeah.
Australia's meant a lot to them. On the first record, they came over to Australia and did some of the most insane shows they've ever done.
Brutal, yeah.
And that means the audience and the band.
Yeah.
And whether it was an in-store, a show, an interview, it was just all over the top.
Yeah.
And they played Big Day Out. They played Soundwave. There's amazing festivals. And they had a great time and met so many great people from this country that Australia's been on our bucket list for a long time to do a Knotfest. And it just really took meeting the right partners or talking to the right partners at the right time and getting a great lineup together.
So,
it's great for the guys. The guys in Slipknot, for them to come down here and play with Parkway Drive, who they're fans of, Megadeth, who they're definitely friends and fans of, and all the other great bands, it's pretty amazing.
Getting the formula right is so important. This partnership has been absolutely fantastic, and it has had the challenges through COVID of us wanting to get on and get it going, and making sure the programming was spot on, making sure the venue setup, the venue selection, how everything's done, the ticketing, everything. If the punters had any idea just how much goes on behind the scenes,
this is what they need to realise.
The challenge we've got. And that's for us, right? But we just want to make sure it's a fantastic experience for them, and we're so pleased we've been able to deliver it so successfully right off the bat. And that's what we wanted to do with Corey. Great working with Chris and his team. It's a really good partnership.
Well, all the maggots out there are really enjoying themselves. Like, honestly, the people decked out in costumes and the jumpsuits. It's insanity to think we're in Brisbane, it's 26 degrees and boiling. I'm sweating profusely, as you can probably tell. This obviously begs the question, with the success that we've had so far, will we see future reiterations coming back?
Certainly hope so. I got to get together with both of these gentlemen right here.
Nice deflection, Corey.
I know from the Knotfest side, it's a way of life. Slipknot created Knotfest. It's a culture. It's bigger than just bands on stage. It's a community. And I feel, on the business side, being next to these two gentlemen who understand that and have passion for the community, it's not just a business opportunity. This is important. This is life. It's the music I listen to. It's the music they listen to. So it means a lot. So hell yeah.
It's going to change lives, honestly. It will. The amount of people coming today to relive their youth or bring their kids along is just mind-blowing in itself. And the fact that we get to do it here in Brisbane and up the East Coast is a beautiful thing, all because of you guys getting together. So from the fans, from Wall of Sound, from everyone who's involved, thank you so much for putting this together. Before we go, I am going to throw you under the bus because I really love ending interviews inappropriately or doing things against the grain. What's your favourite Slipknot song?
I have a ton, but I'll say Purity. Purity off the first record is a personal favorite of mine, and a song the band really plays live, and I love it.
Yep.
It's not my personal favourite, but it has become in the last 6 months because my youngest daughter, it's her favourite Slipknot song, Duality. So every time we're in the car,
she wants to push her fingers into her eyes?
Well, I think, sort of, but she's showing a real passion to get involved in the industry.
Cool.
So that seems to be one of the songs that's driving her at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's that and another pop punk band, bizarrely. But anyway, but yeah, probably that for me from right
Duality,
now.
Tim?
It's the same. My 8-year-old, it's on repeat rotation on Spotify in our car. Duality, massive fan. It goes
just
crazy.
those opening
So,
lines. It's just, it brings everyone in. My brother back in the day got me in the Slipknot with Spit It Out, so I really hope they play it tonight. I've avoided the set list and spoilers and everything like that, and I'm going to get a 13-year-old Browny out there losing my mind. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the community, for the heavy music scene in Australia, and let's hope we see Knotfest come back.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Browny.
all the support.
If you're 555, then is that what you want?
Here with a Slipknot member right now. We're here with Jane Weinberg. How you going, Jay?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How's your day been so far in Australia?
It's been awesome. It's been a long time coming since we've been here. It's been like 7 years since our last time in Australia. So it's been long overdue. We're incredibly excited. It's awesome to see all of our friends and peers here playing already. So I'm a bit anxious to get it going myself. So really excited for tonight.
It's been a ripper day so far. We've obviously seen Slipknot a million times here in Australia, but never for your very own festival. Is it a different energy in the air?
It is, yeah. I think, with Knotfest, we're very proud of what we've been able to do so far with Knotfest. Especially this last year, we've brought it to Finland, Brazil, Germany, different areas in the States and stuff. So it's been really rad. And so, of course, knowing how important Australia is to Slipknot and to Slipknot's lineage and history, it kind of makes all the sense in the world to, we know it's long overdue and everyone's been very patient with us. So what better way to make a massive return to the stage in Australia than to bring the proper Knotfest experience here? So it's we're very proud and excited to have it here, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome night.
We're super excited. We've noticed the lineup is completely stellar. It's very tight, and what I mean by tight is that we're used to 7 stages at festivals and it's really manic, and this is just super organized. It's super slick. All the bands from the start of the day to the end are just top-notch bands. I take it that's not an accident. Tell me about what it's like handpicking the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bangers only mentality of the Knot, it's got to be full on all the time. And I mean, as festival goers and concert enjoyers ourselves, there's nothing worse than getting to a show and being like, oh, I have to sacrifice seeing this band because I want to see this band. And sometimes that just happens, and it's just, there's only so many things you can enjoy during a day. But for us, we want to curate an experience where you are able to enjoy as much of it as possible without feeling like you're sacrificing anything or you're missing out by, choosing one thing over another. Everything is kind of carefully curated in that way. We want everyone to see every band starting at, whatever doors open at like 11 a.m. today. We want you to have a full experience where you can see all the bands, you can try all the food, you can go to the Knotfest Museum, and all this stuff, and feel like you had a complete experience where you didn't sacrifice anything for the sake of, time and your schedule and whatever. So we kind of try to take that all into consideration, knowing how we want to experience shows, because Knotfest is a reflection of what we want to experience in a live concert setting. So I think we're pretty happy that we can kind of provide that for everyone coming.
It's great. We don't miss anyone. We get to see everyone across 2 stages. And you mentioned the museum. We've had some Wall of Sound contributors who are going through the museum and checking it all out. For those that haven't been through it, what can punters find at the museum here at the festival?
It's a hands-on, tactile experience of learning everything there is to learn about Slipknot's history, really. Going back to the very origins of the band, which, is really cool to be able to present stuff that to us is just kind of stuff that collects dust in our attics, but it's stuff that does have a history. So why not, give it wheels and put it on the road and just say, hey, check out all this crap that we have in our attic. And you know what? It is cool. Oh yeah, I used that snare drum on that, recording, or this is this guy's shoes from that tour, or this is this, memento from this music video that you've seen, since the late 90s, So stuff like that is really cool. I have, like signature music equipment there that you can try out, like a snare drum. You can sit and play on it, and that's the snare that I'm going to be using on stage tonight. So it's all about deepening that experience where you get to feel like you're more a part of what we're putting on here and more a part of our culture and what Knotfest really represents, because you've got your hands in it. You can see that it's not, it's not this like movie playing on a screen or something, or that we're like, I don't know, sometimes it seems like people think we're like monsters that have a band or something like that. And it's like,
aren't you?
No, we're just people, and it's like this is all just real stuff that you can be like, oh, it's not that much larger than life. We've created it to be, something that we push very, very far, and we are happier that it is, the idea of Knotfest and Slipknot is larger than any one of us, but the fact that we can kind of break it down and you can get your hands dirty literally with it is very exciting for us, because you don't really get that opportunity if you're just kind of coming to a club and seeing a band or something. We like the opportunity to just expand all of it.
It's an immersive experience for fans, right?
Yeah, totally. That's a good word.
So you've got Knotfest around the world now. Like, obviously you've got in the US, Latin America, Europe and stuff like that. Do you actually tour as a band outside of the festival these days?
We have, yeah, for sure. Like, for instance, this summer we'll be going to Europe and doing, a lot of other festivals. Festivals are just like, it seems in the last 10 years, there's been so many more festivals that have popped up where it is like-minded people, doing their own versions of, of course, we're incredibly proud of and pretty careful about Knotfest, but we also like to mix and mingle and do, Download in the UK. That's got a long history with Slipknot. Other places in in the US, Welcome to Rockville and Louder Than Life and all these kinds of things. Like, we like to shake it up and just take a part of what we know. Knotfest is one kind of corner of this culture, but we like to explore all of them. So yeah, we'll be going to Europe and doing quite a bunch of them. I believe we're doing a bunch of like headlining shows, which are, again, a little bit more of that compact, just check everything out in 3 hours and then it's overwhelming, as we intend it to be. But yeah, I think we're just very stoked on what Knotfest is about. So we've spent a lot of time these last couple years just doing a lot of stuff under the Knotfest name, which, why not? We have the opportunity to do so, and we're pretty proud of it. So it's what we like doing right now.
What's the desired end state for Knotfest? What would you like to see it become one day?
It's hard to say beyond what we're enjoying it right now.
It's like we're there.
Yeah, it's like we're here, we're enjoying this, and that's, to me, that's just like the end goal, is just like be excited about what you're doing currently. And sure, like have aspirations and grow it and maybe, work with other bands that we haven't worked with before. But we've also done that to varying degrees as well. We've done Knotfest meets Ozfest, and that's, I first met the guys in Slipknot when the band was on Ozfest. So to do that and have that kind of come full circle and partnering together for one mega festival is like super cool. Just more of that. Like, if you're content with what you're doing and excited to just do more of what you're doing in the present, I think that's a pretty good, you know that you're onto something good, where it's like, if this is what it is, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm happy about that.
I had the same experience walking around the festival today. Like, this is, what else would you want it to be, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're living it.
Agree. What can we expect from Slipknot tonight?
Everything we got, we are certainly, like we spoke of earlier, we're in a bangers only mentality. So when we hit stage, it's going to be 90 to 100 minutes of just total chaotic fury, as always. And that's our comfort zone. That's where we like to be. And Australia is going to get it tonight.
Bangers only, please. Well, with that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to sit on the couch here at Wall of Sound TV. I wish you all the very best for your very first Knotfest show in Australia, and we look forward to seeing you live on stage.
Yeah, man, no, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so fucking much. We fucking